Greetings, Astro Geeks and all other Astro weirdos out there. My name is Rick. I'm the Chief Astronomer here at the Gravity Discovery Centre and Observatory, and I hope everyone has managed to tune in to our live Facebook page broadcast. Facebook? No, YouTube. God, I haven't even got... It has been a tech nightmare at the moment. I mean, I'm a technological caveman to say the least. I mean, truth. But anyway, I'm hoping everyone can hear me. This is the first time we're broadcasting on YouTube. Again, you know, technical caveman here. But I am hoping that people can see, even flick us, I don't know. I'm not even sure how to communicate. I think we can communicate. There's a chat facility here, apparently. This is uncharted territory. But anyway, welcome to International Dark Sky Week 2022. And this is celebrating everything to do with dark skies and preserving the dark skies for, well, more than just preserving the stars, but for also the little critters that live out in the bush, because they, you know, they also are other forms of life, and they also inhabit the area around the particular dark sky areas. I'm just going to check a message here. I do have to, I'll start off early by, hang on a sec, where are we at? I got a message here earlier. Where the heck is it now? Yes. So this is a message to all my friends out at Macquarie University. And, oh, good. You can, oh, thanks, Ben. Yes. So Ben's been my technical support to help this person, me, get my stuff in order. So I do have to wish, when Macquarie University decides to tune in, I want to wish Adam a congratulations on another successful 40th orbit of our local star. In other words, it's a happy 40th birthday, Adam. Hope you're having a good one. So yeah, we're here under the beautiful dark skies here at the Gravity Discovery Centre Observatory, and maybe soon to be an international dark sky reserve. How exciting is that? I mean, that is fantastic news for us, because that means we get to protect the stuff that we do, but also protect everything else. There's a whole bunch of other things. And what I want to do tonight is actually tell you a little bit about the progress of our dark sky project, and why we're protecting the night skies and what we're doing. And then, of course, the obligatory showing off the night sky. I've actually got two cameras set up tonight. I've got one looking through a 6-inch Ritchie-Chrétien optical system telescope. Firing off behind it is a Canon 60DA, and then I've got a Canon 60DA with a fisheye lens on standalone on a tripod to show you the beautiful dark skies. And I do hope some of our Northern Hemispherian brethren are tuning in tonight, because it would be good just to show off the night skies that we have here, because there's a lot of dark sky reserves and dark sky parks up in the Northern Hemisphere, and there's 3 of them in Australia, but none of them are on the West Coast. And you know what? We're going to change that, and I reckon we're going to be the first ones. But you know what? If we're not the first ones, I don't care, as long as we protect our area. You know, it would be good to find... let me see if I can actually work this chat thing. I don't know. God, here we go. Let's see what's... live chat. There we go. This might work. Participants. Yeah, it'll do. Let's see. If anyone wants to chat or type in a comment or whatever saying, you know, shut up, stop talking and show us the stars, I will. I'll do that in a minute. So, boy, it's cold out here at the moment. Who'd have thought? It's getting close to winter and things get cold. Anyway, so to kick off international, well, not to kick off, because we've actually been doing stuff during International Dark Sky Week. We started that last Friday, and we did that by starting off by having a local Aboriginal astronomy night. Now, we have them quite regularly here at the Gravity Discovery Centre Observatory, but we had a special night on the Friday night where we had our dear friend and learned colleague, Dr. Noel Nannup, who came and did a night and talked about the star lore and stories from the perspective of the Nyungar people, the traditional caretakers of the southwest of Western Australia. But he also had included a piece about the preserving of the dark skies, because the observatory is actually on Yued Nyungar land, and the Yued people have lived here for, well, 60,000 years or thereabouts. And same just down towards Perth is the Whadjuk Nyungar people. So Noel is from Whadjuk, and we're actually on Yued country. But yeah, the stories are, roughly the same. But that's another important reason why we need to preserve the skies here at Jingin, is to preserve those stories, because they're intertwined amongst the stars and all the dark dust lanes of the Milky Way galaxy, and it's a very, very culturally important facet for the Yued and Whadjuk mobs. So we need to keep the skies dark and the stars bright, so we can preserve those stories, and so future generations can carry those stories forward. Anyway, tell you what, let's start off with a bit of a talk. My goodness, my desktop here is an absolute mess, but that's pretty much just like my desktop at home. All right, so you're going to have to bear with me for a few seconds while I... Okay, hang on. Ben just made a comment. Not sure about live chat on YouTube is enabled as scrolling down, see them on the phone. Okay, no worries. I'm going to see if I can fit it around with that. Oh, here we go. Participants. Oh, okay. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can allow toggle timestamps. Anyway, you know what? Save your comments for the comments afterwards. If we can't, oh, now I've done it. I've messed up something. Anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to do the talk, and I'll worry about it later. And because we're going to do more. I'm so inspired by getting back into the seat of the live sky stuff that I've got to do more. And now with winter coming up, we've got some gorgeous dark skies, and we got a camera. We got a new camera. So yesterday, Mitch and Jan, our CEO, so Mitch went and bought a ZWO camera, one-shot color, and we're using it as a bit of a proof of concept for one of the telescopes we got here. That's that 6-inch Arcos telescope that I was telling you about that I'm imaging through tonight with the Canon. But instead, we're going to put this cooled, dedicated astro camera on the back and use it as a part of our tours, just to demonstrate robotic telescopes and remote imaging. Well, remote, it's from the next room. But this will enable people to better understand how astronomy is now done. The astronomers don't have to sit outside and freeze their butts off like what I'm doing tonight. Anyway, enough of my yammering on. Let's talk about dark skies. So bear with me for 2 seconds while I get all this set up. And please don't go wrong. Here we go. Here we go. Let's change the screenery. Swap the presentation over. Go back to this. Get my mug off the telly for a start. So get rid of that and go to screen. There we go. Alrighty. So of course, this talk is entitled The Guardians of the Dark, the Jingin Dark Sky Reserve of Western Australia. The Guardians of the Dark. I like that, apart from the fact that I made it up. But anyway, it's pretty good. So yes, brought to you by me from the GDC Observatory, the astrotourism capital of Western Australia. Anyway, let's click on. So here we are. So why do we want to keep it dark? Now this, before I start off, this picture here was taken, it's literally the image that I'm seeing, bar the Milky Way setting, it's the wrong season, to the west of me. And yes, we do have these amazing dark skies out here that we want to protect it, but why do we want to keep it dark? Why are we making such a big fuss about dark skies and wanting to protect them? Well, it's obvious, as an astronomer, you want to keep it dark. You can't really observe, the faint fuzzy objects from the middle of a city. It's like you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd, that old song, but some of you don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we want to keep it dark for these reasons. Now, we want to protect and preserve. That is our main goal, to protect and preserve our astronomy or our astrotourism. Because we do a lot of that here. In fact, that's why we call ourselves the astrotourism capital of Western Australia, because we just had our last school holidays last week or last 2 weeks ago. And we got absolutely smashed. We were open every single night except Good Friday night, and we had a full house every night. And that's remarkable because of the fact that people want to come out, and they want to come out to dark skies, and they want to look through telescopes, and they want to know more about the universe. And that's exactly what we're here for. And if we can't see the stars anymore, we really can't show them the universe, and that's a bit of a problem. And seeing it up on a screen is not that good. It's to actually see it in real life is pretty amazing. And I've been doing this now for getting on to, well, close to 25 years now. Yeah, 25 years actually. And there's still, it still takes my breath away every time I see a clear night sky with the Milky Way rising or above me or wherever. Every time I see the Milky Way, it still takes my breath away 25 years later. And that sense of awe and wonder has not diminished for 25 years. So, and we want people to feel that same way, especially from a dark sky. We also want to protect our astronomy education. Now, this is very important because we run our current programs where we teach primary, secondary and tertiary students, but these are the scientists we want to inspire and ignite the spark of curiosity for the future astronomers and astrophysicists and cosmologists, to answer the questions that my generation hasn't been able to. So, we want to show these kids, and sometimes all it takes is a view of Saturn. Through one of our telescopes, I still see this, hear it rather, because it's dark in the observatory. You get a kid looking through an eyepiece and they see Saturn for the first time, and again, there's that sharp, astonished intake of breath. And they're seeing this thing for real. And sometimes they can't believe it. In fact, adults do. They go, no, this is fake, mate. And it's like, no, it's not. It's the real thing. So even all ages, to inspire that curiosity and that sense of wonder, I mean, that's what we do. And we educate as well. That's a very, very important thing. Is it's all well and good showing people through telescopes, but you've got to tell them what it's all about. And to do that, you need a dark sky. The astronomical and astrophysical research that currently goes on site here, most notably with the ZADCO telescope, which is operated by the University of Western Australia and Ausgrav. But also we have the Falcon telescope on site, which is operated by the United States Air Force Academy. So we've got a whole bunch of international collaborations going on site, such as the US Air Force Academy. We've got Airbus, a company called Numerica, the Polish Space Agency, and also the Japanese Space Agency as well. They've just recently deployed one of their tracking scopes here as well. So, we have these, the infrastructure here, we have the technical know-how, from the UWA side, because that's their turf. But nevertheless, this is a place where not just companies, but space agencies or universities can put their infrastructure, their assets, and study the universe. And it's only an hour's drive south of Perth from a major capital city. So, what a perfect place to have an astronomical observatory. It's also preserving the local Aboriginal culture. So like I mentioned before, the Yued and the Wajak Nyunga stories and star lore, from their perspective. And, I'm hoping to show you a couple of their constellations tonight with the wide field camera, just to, give you a better understanding of what they saw, because, everyone's familiar with the Greco-Roman constellations, but to see constellations from a different perspective and the stories that just date back way further back than the ancient Egyptians, or certainly the ancient Romans and Greeks and the ancient Egyptians. This predates them. We're talking 60,000 years of astronomical knowledge. It is just incredible. So, we want to preserve that for at least another 60,000 years. See how we go. But also want to preserve the nighttime environment for the local wildlife, bird life and insect life and coastal marine life that inhabit this precious ecosystem that lies an hour's drive north of Perth. I mean, we tend to forget, and there's a lot of us, it is a human-centric thing. How does the light affect us? I know humans like having light around them in the dark or at night time, but it's actually quite counterproductive. It's in fact, it's very, very bad for you. But we also have to remember the critters that live in or actually an essential part of our ecosystem, that we need to watch out for them. And, having too much light around has been seen to affect their breeding, their mating, mating, mating successes, feeding, hunting, and, adaptations. And it can be a real problem for them. So in order to preserve the local wildlife we have here, we want to keep the skies dark, and we are working our butts off to do that. I can guarantee you that. Okay, So, and of course, if we're successful, I've got all these messages coming in. Stop it. Here we are. It will be the first internationally accredited dark sky reserve in Western Australia. Hooray for us. But I'm certainly hoping it is not the last, because Western Australia is huge. I mean, they say, Texas is big. Texas ain't got nothing on Western Australia. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if there's any people from Texas listening, but Western Australia, I mean, if you say Texas is big, Western Australia is eye-wateringly huge. I mean, you could fit, I don't know how many Texases in Western Australia. We're big. So, we've got lots of area that is dark. I know now up in the Pilbara in certain areas, there's, the horizon, the dark horizon is punctuated by signs of mining operations. And that's a shame, but, these mining operations, if someone talks to them and says, hey, it would be a good idea to do this, then, maybe we can actually start preserving some of the night skies around those particular areas too. But, it's all fixes that can be done, can be implemented. The main source of light pollution that we are currently scratching our heads about and wringing our hands is, of course, the Starlink satellites. I mean, because they're a bit beyond our control. We can't exactly call up Elon Musk and say, oi, can you turn your satellites down? Because they're already up there and they're already creating a major problem for research. Anyway, let's keep going on. Here we go. So what else have we got here? Oh yeah, just want to tell you about, astrotourism in Western Australia. So the astronomy tourism sector is really, really booming. I mean, this thing's taking off, and we're certainly feeling the effects of it. And I mean, we've got the total solar eclipse coming up next year in April 2023, and that's going to be a real boon for Western Australia as far as all things astronomy are concerned. And yes, we are doing something for that as well. We'll be broadcasting live from the Path of Totality to bring you images of the hybrid solar eclipse, or in that case, it's total solar eclipse from Jingin. I wish it was Jingin. I would save a ton of fuel going up, but it's actually up in Exmouth. So the GDC Observatory is the best place to explore the universe, because we've got a fantastic world-class public observatory. We've got amazing staff that work here. I just counted the other night that we actually have 3 astrophysicists and 3 astronomers working in the actual observatory, and also some very, very, very keen young astronomers, budding astronomers working for us as well. So it's a great place. We've got a fantastic science centre, all in this pristine bushland that surrounds the Gravity Discovery Centre. So we want to do that. We want to preserve. It's only 1 hour drive north of the Perth Central Business District, and it's easy. You drive for an hour, you drive straight up the freeway, get off the freeway, up Indian Ocean Road, travel up there, a nice pretty drive amongst bushland, and you're here next to no time. And there's lots of accommodation around the area we can stay, and soon we're actually going to have accommodation on site, these ecotourist accommodations that are going to be based on the design of traditional Aboriginal accommodation called Maya. So we're going to be doing that as well, and that's like we're on the cusp of actually making this happen. So it's pretty cool. So people can actually sleep under dark skies. So the GDC and Gravity Discovery Centre of the Observatory attract about 30,000 visitors to the region every single year. I think we had about that same number just in the last school holidays. Don't quote me on that, but it certainly felt like it. It has a well-established reputation as WA's premier public observatory. What can I say? We're the best. Simple as that. We've got dark skies, we've got a great observatory, we've got great staff, great telescopes, beautiful dark skies. I mean, what more can you want? A couple of $1 million actually, but anyway. It will encourage visitors to explore the surrounding Jingin area, the dark sky area, stay a while, check it out. And local accommodation and local tourist attractions and local cafes and restaurants will certainly benefit from having this this hook to hang their hat on, so to speak. The Shire of Jingin will become the dark sky capital of Western Australia. So it'll track local interstate bidders. Yeah. Okay, we'll just get through all this. I mainly did this last little bit for the Shire of Jingin. Anyway, okay. Oh yes, coming up at the end of May, we're going to have our inaugural Jingin Dark Sky Star Party, because this is something that you got to do. You know, we've got these dark skies and we want to share them with people. So what a great way to actually attract people up here to stay a little bit, you know, check out some of the local accommodations, or even pitch a tent and bring your telescope, and you can stay the weekend. You know, come up on a Friday night, you know, set your telescope up, do some observing, go for a sleep, wake up in the morning, go explore the Shire of Jingin, the you know, dark sky capital of Western Australia. Take in a few sites, come to the GDC, have some lunch, have a coffee, stick around for some talks. We're going to have a whole bunch of talks from the WA Space Forum. Yep, WA Space Forum, they're awesome people. So it's all the young guns, all the startups and all the exciting young minds that are driving the WA space industry, and it's such an exciting place to be in, you know, to be involved with these groups. It's just amazing, you know, this grassroots that will one day spring into this amazing space industry here in Western Australia. So they'll be doing talks about that. But yeah, if you're in Perth or you're looking up, just check up on our Facebook page. We'll be advertising that in the next couple of days. You can make a booking, or you can even stay locally or whatever. And we want to make this an annual event because we want to share the dark skies from the Shire of Jingin, because it's not just for the GDC, it's for everyone. You know, come along and look at these beautiful skies. Anyway, I think I'm rambling. Now this picture here that's up on the screen, this is actually taken from the observatory, and this is our extent of light pollution. That is Perth and the northern suburbs. But if you look up here, you can certainly see the galactic bulge, and there's the spiral arms and the Coalsack Nebula, and just up here is the Southern Cross up there, and where's the 2 pointers? There's the 2 pointers there. But I'll show you, I'll take a live picture of this and I'll show you I mean, of course, everyone is familiar with the emu in the sky, and I just want to acknowledge that before I started showing people these constellations from the Nyungar perspective, that I believe I did the right thing. Maybe it's just my upbringing, but I actually asked permission. So is it okay we can show people this? And I asked a Nyungar elder about that, and they said, yes, absolutely. We want people to know more about our stories. And it's just that simple little common courtesy that, you know, makes things a little bit better, I feel. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there. But the emu itself is made up of the dark dust lanes in the Milky Way. And of course, in the Nyungar mythos, the emu has a name. It's called Waich the emu. And you have the beak structure here and the head. And there's the faint eye right there. A lot of people say that's the eye, but I've never seen an eye right on the top part of an emu. That's just kind of weird. So there's that faint star embedded in the dark Coalsack. And the neck flows down through the 2 pointers, and then it begins its arching up across the back here, and then down along the belly, all the way back up the neck, and all the way back up to the head. Now, it's around, I think it's around May, you see what appears to be the emu squatting down in the southeastern horizon, and it's said that Waich is on country. It means that the emu is actually sitting on the country and it's actually laying its eggs. And that is a known time, not just for the Nyungar people, but also the Wongai, the Yamaji up near Geraldton, and a whole bunch of others. They see that, and that's a signal that emus are laying their eggs here on the ground, and they can go and pick them up. Now, there is another spirit animal from the Nyungar mythos intertwined here called Yonga the kangaroo, and they form a part of this really beautiful story known as the Carers of Everything. Now, I'm not going to tell you that story because it's not my story to tell. And this is something that you'll actually have to hear it properly from a Nyungar elder. So if you get a chance to come along to do one of our nights, then great. If not, I'm sure there is something around that you can listen to about the Carers of Everything, because it is a really amazing story, and I strongly recommend people listen to it. But from our point, we can see the large Magellanic Cloud. There's the small Magellanic Cloud disappearing into the light pollution of Perth and the northern suburbs, but we're hoping to keep this where it is, and also to maybe eventually push it back. So the light pollution dome will only extend, instead of extending up to about here, about 25, 30 degrees, we want to only have it as a small bump just above the treetops. And even better if it just didn't exist at all. But we firmly believe we can do that through education, through government policy, and huge public support. And that's what we're doing. We're really working our butts off to do that. The area we're going to protect is approximately over 3,500 square kilometres, which encompasses the entire Shire of Jingin, plus a portion of the city of Wanneroo. City of Wanneroo, big shout out to you guys. And within this zone here, it encompasses 2 national parks, 5 nature reserves, 5 coastal communities, 5 housing estates along Indian Ocean Road, and of course Jingin town itself. And we are designated as the Dark Sky Reserve core area. There's where we are in here. So this is the area that we want to protect. So the entire Shire of Jingin plus a small portion of the city of Wanneroo, the upper sort of reaches around Two Rocks and the Yanchep National Park. So that's our target area. Moving on. So as I mentioned before, there are 3 other dark sky places in Australia. The first one, of course, was the Warrumbungle Dark Sky Park, and that is stunning. It's big and it's beautiful. There's the Winton Dark Sky Sanctuary. And then a couple of years ago, probably about 2 years ago now, there was the River Murray Dark Sky Reserve in South Australia. So they're just a little bit further out from Adelaide than what we are from Perth. But they too have exceptional dark skies. But then is actually into the International Dark Sky Association. And I just want to acknowledge that they're actually hosting International Dark Sky Week. They're the great folk that are tirelessly working to protect the night skies all across the globe. And it's those people that are a true inspiration. So there's us. That's what we want to be. We want to be the other dark sky here on the West Coast. But you know what? This whole section of Western Australia, all the way out through there, just should be designated as a dark sky state because it is dark right here. And, areas around there too as well. And we want to have it IDA approved, of course, because, that's the gold standard. Now, how do we measure the darkness? Well, that's a good question. We've got this little contraption here on the end of a pole. It's called a sky quality meter. And this particular version of the sky quality meter actually logs data. So what this thing does, it takes a reading of the background darkness, measures any sort of light sources, and gives you a numerical value. Now, if we were to put this in the middle of, say, a capital city like Perth, it would give you a numerical value of, say, something like 17.5 or something like that. If you were to put it out, say, in suburbia, that might jump up to 18.5. Out on the edge of our Dark Sky Reserve, where Yanchep National Park is, we were getting readings of about 20.7, so it was getting pretty dark. And some of the darkest skies we've seen here at the observatory, at the GDC observatory, we can see it here, average reading of 21.92, which is like really super dark. The only darkest readings that I got was from a handheld device about 40 kilometres to the north, to our northeastern most point of our Dark Sky Reserve, where I got 22.05. Now that is astonishingly dark. That is some of the best dark skies in the world. But without 21.92, I reckon we're doing pretty darn good. So we're going to upgrade. We're still going to keep the sky quality meter, but a friend and colleague who's currently in Paris at the moment, hello to Fabian if you're listening, he's going to be sending down something called a TESS photometer and also an all-sky camera. So then we can start, Fabian will be using it for his own use to check the quality of skies and clarity of skies here at the GDC precinct. But we'll also be using it to cross-reference, if we get any dark readings like 23, more than likely there's a massive cloud above us. So we want to sort of correlate that. But this will be available on our not a Facebook page, our website, free for people to look at. We also want to develop a bit of a sentry program where we'll start developing remote stations to monitor the sky quality all across the Dark Sky Reserve. So have one way up in the northern corridor, to the northeastern corridor, to the eastern corridor, close to Bindoon, close to Gilderton, over to the west, and then down to the south, and with us at the core. So from here we can then start to see if we're starting to get any more influxes of light, if the skies are improving or degrading, and just generally keep a track on all of these points within the Dark Sky Reserve. We've already had a couple of issues with a couple of neighbours, one about 20 kilometres away, maybe a little bit less, mine site, but we spoke to them as good neighbours, and they turned their lights down, and they directed all their lights down as per the IDA recommendations. They were fantastic to deal with. And just also to the north of us, an abattoir, we spoke to them. They were mindful of what we did, and every now and then we get a bit of a bright halo from them, but 9 times out of 10 it's always quite dark to the northern horizon now. So it's all a matter of just approaching people as a good neighbour and saying, hey, this is what we do. Can you help us by keeping the lights down and preserving the night? And they think it's great. We also have this wonderful 45-metre high tower on site, which I frequently climb, although not often enough to improve my fitness level, but certainly from up there it's a great vantage point. It gives me about 25 kilometres view to the horizon in all directions to spot any new light sources. So I can quickly find out where they are, plot them on Google Maps, and then go pay them a visit as a friendly neighbour and saying, hi, you've got some very bright lights, can you please turn them down? So this tower, the Leaning Tower of Jingin, is a very good asset to have on site to actually, check out to make sure if there's new light sources that have popped up. And it's also good to compare how the light pollution dome of Perth is. No, this is not a light pollution dome, by the way. This is our cosmology gallery in here. But the light pollution dome further down towards Perth is either getting better or getting worse. So it's a great asset to have. And I'm, up there looking around with binoculars, plotting azimuth readings, finding out where these light sources are coming from. And generally they're transient. So we still got some pretty good dark skies. Now, looking at the stuff from the NASA, just drop more planes from it. Yeah, well, that's one thing that we're going to do. We've got the How Ridiculous guys dropping stuff off there all the time, jet skis, boats, all sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, we'll do that. Anyway, but that's the mine site I was telling you about, and that's actually further improved. But there was a new little spot about here that popped up, and that was, of course, the abattoir that we were referring to. Actually, no, it's further down there. That's it there. It's a big pin we got in the middle of our precinct. But as you can see, there's 2 rocks down there, which is still within, and we have been working with the city of Wanneroo to try and improve that, and of course working with the Shire of Jingin to mitigate any further incursions of light pollution. But it's a matter of education, getting people inspired, involved, and as the IDA say, the International Dark Sky Association say, it's think locally, act globally. So I think that's a wonderful way to inspire people. Even just simple, turn off your lights outside, or just be mindful of what you're doing with your lights. These are the areas, these are the people that we're working with, the Guardians of the Dark, the State Government of Western Australia, the Department of Planning, Lands and Heritage, the Shire of Jingin, who the majority of the Dark Sky Reserve is in their jurisdiction, the City of Wanneroo, part of it is in their jurisdiction, the Main Roads Department of Western Australia, who design roadways and deploy streetlights, but Western Power, who own the streetlights and maintain the streetlights. And working with all these organisations has, dare I say, been rather illuminating. Bad choice of words, I know. But mainly working with the DPLH, and working with all these other organisations and the Shire of Jingin. They've been on board pretty much from the get-go. They're a little bit unsure, thinking, what the hell's this guy on about? But, they've totally embraced it as a way to, they know they've got something special going on, and that's fantastic. And even the City of Wanneroo, working with the former Mayor, Tracy Edwards, yes, it's just been brilliant. But we've been working with the DPLH, and we created this. We also had a visit from the WA Planning Committee, forgive me, because we were creating this document, this what's called a position statement, or rather DPLH was, and we had quite a heavy input. In fact, we kicked the whole thing off. But we also had to have a visit from the WA Planning Committee, and they came up one night to the observatory to check it out, and the head of the chairperson of the WAPC commented and said, now I can see why you want to protect the skies. And it's like, well, yeah, because they are precious. And they gave us their approval, and in end of January 2022, the Honourable Rita Saffioti, the Minister for Planning, she released the position statement. So this is all about it. You can certainly download it on their website, but this is the position statement here. So dark sky and astrotourism, and essentially this is going to be used as a planning tool. Now, this will be sent out to all Shire councils across Western Australia. And if, for example, like here at the Gravity Discovery Centre, if someone decides to build a new housing development on the coast to the west of us, then the planning department within the Shire of Jingin say, oh, hang on, that's close to an astronomically sensitive area. Better consult the position statement. It has all the IDA best practices about lighting at night. And yeah, and this will be implemented. So it'll protect us. This is our protection at a state government level. And we are super, super happy that this actually got approved and published. And this is actually a pivotal part in our dark sky reserve application to the IDA, that we've actually got state government backing, that we've created this policy to be implemented, not just for us, but for all across Western Australia. So this is a fantastic outcome for everyone in Western Australia. So we're super stoked about that. Our application, like I said, has already gone in. It's gone in with our wonderful case officer. She'll be reviewing that in the next couple of weeks. There'll be, imagine, a number of backwards and forwards to add bits and pieces that we've missed. But either way, once we get it all squared away, we will, it'll be hopefully presented to the selection committee of the IDA and hopefully be approved as a dark sky reserve. Now, if we are successful, like I said, we will be the first dark sky reserve in Western Australia and the 4th dark sky place in Australia. So the future for the Gravity Discovery Centre Observatory, well, it's looking really, really dark. But that's a good thing. That's exactly what we want. And of course, I've already spoken to the councillors at the Shire of Jingin, and we want to make the Shire of Jingin the dark sky capital of Western Australia. Because we've got great skies, we've got big telescopes, we've got an observatories here, more than one, and that's it. So that is our dark sky reserve story. So what I'm going to do now is I will turn our attention to, I'll just get rid of this, let's hit the escape button, and get our attention to some cameras. Alrighty, let's see if this still works. I may have to I also have to take the lens cap off. But here's something I prepared earlier. Now this was taken with a Canon 60DA with a fisheye lens. As it was rising, we can start to see the first hints of light pollution down here in the southern part of the sky. A bit of light reflecting off the cloud that's scudding past. But this was taken probably about 6:20, 6:20, 6:40, 6:45. So it wasn't properly dark. Oh gosh. Oh bugger. It's clouded over. How's that? Well, good thing I prepared this earlier, because I heard a rumbling in the distance. It's not thunder. It's the Zadko Observatory closing its roof, because it can't observe anything because there's a lot of rotten cloud scudding above us, which is a problem. But I will endeavour to show you at least a portion thereof of the kangaroo, Yonga the kangaroo. I'll just move this across here a little bit and move this across there. Now we can clearly see here the Large Magellanic Cloud, and that's easily visible with a naked eye here at the Gravity Discovery Centre. Same with the Small Magellanic Cloud, just at the moment it's kind of down in light pollution central, and also we can observe 47 Tucanae. It's that beautiful globular cluster just off the opposite side of the Small Magellanic Cloud. But what we can really see is, of course, up here, Eta Carinae, NGC 3372. We can see the Southern Pleiades. We can even see, I think that's it there. That would be the Wishing Well cluster. Somewhere buried in here is the Running Chicken Nebula. And then, of course, we have the Coal Sack Nebula, the Southern Cross. Let's not forget the Jewel Box. So Beck, if you're watching tonight, Beck is one of our astronomers here. She's colourfully referred to as the Queen of the Jewel Box, because that is a favourite target. And you know what? I have to agree with her. Visually, the Jewel Box is second to none on any open cluster. It is just purely beautiful. You cannot compare it with anything else. It is just gorgeous. And so the Jewel Box is absolutely stunning. So that's one of our target pieces. Down here, of course, we have the 2 pointers, because if you draw a line through the 2, it points to the top of the Southern Cross. It's slightly distorted because of the fisheye effect. And then over here we have Epsilon Centauri, and then finally over here Omega Centauri. Omega Centauri being a very large globular cluster. Well, I wouldn't say large, it's just more like stupendously huge. 10 million stars, that's pretty darn big. I'll tell you what I might do, because I've completely lost all stars. I might close the roof just in case, because I don't want it to start raining, because it takes about 4 minutes for the roof to shut. So if you'll excuse me for just a moment, I'll let you muse over this picture and see how many constellations you can pick out, and I'll be back in just a second, and we will continue on with tonight's broadcast. Just hold on a sec. Now, I'm a little concerned because the roof is this giant iron-clad, iron trussed roof that may act like a giant Faraday cage. So if my signal drops out, you'll know why. So if I do finish up, and wow, we're nearly close to finishing as well. I may have to finish a bit early, but here's something I prepared earlier on another camera, the jewel box cluster, NGC 4755. It is just truly spectacular. I mean, look at it. I'll just go to the zoom out all the way. And about 100 stars, about 6,440 light years away. And it is an open cluster. But we can see the thing that makes it truly spectacular is the colors. The colors of the stars. I mean, you know, we have the bright blue stars. We have the smattering of fainter white stars. And we have that spectacular red star in the center here. And of course, John Herschel gave it its name. He aptly named it. He gave it its name. He aptly named it. He referred to it as an expensive piece of fine jewelry, which it does look that way. And all these stars form together from the same cloud of gas and dust, the same nebulae. And eventually the stars, strong stellar winds, combined stellar winds and radiation pressure blew away all the stellar cocoon to reveal the star cluster within. Now this star here, this star cluster here will eventually dissipate because each star has its own proper motion, and it'll spread apart, and that's it. But that won't happen for a very, 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 very long time in the future. I'm just going to stop the roof again. Please just bear with me for a moment. It doesn't look like it's going to rain. Well, not that I can see, because I've got a bright light pointing right into my eyes. But if you hear me start to scream, then it's starting to rain. Actually, you know what? Just for a bit of a laugh, I will remove the cover from the lens cap here and see what we can pick up just with. Actually, it doesn't have to rain. It's already quite a bit of dew hanging around. So let's go to the other camera control. Where are you? There it is. Please work and go. Okay. See how this goes. See what we pick up. Probably nothing. All right. Oh, stupid me. That's what we're seeing. Cloud, look at that, ta-da, and a part of the roof of the observatory. So this means I will have to dig out another picture of the kangaroo and emu. I think I've got just the one. Let me see if I can find it in my mess known as my computer hard drive. Where are we at? There we are. And oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's a picture I prepared earlier, taken from the GDC observatory. There it is. So this was about, God, when was it taken? It was probably about the same time last year. How time flies. So this picture here really illustrates Waich and Yonga the kangaroo. Yonga you can actually see in all its entirety. Now you notice the stars here are a bit puffed out and they're glowing. This is a technique called the Akira Fuji effect. Now Akira Fuji is a well-known world-class astrophotographer. He pioneered this technique, probably about, I'd even say 40 years ago now. Probably, let's say 30, 35. Okay, 35. By diffusing the stars mid-exposure, and he would use film. See, I started off in film, and that's giving away my age. I mean, wow. But nevertheless, it blows out the brighter stars, but there's a technique where you preserve all the fainter stars. And you can really not just see the constellation better, but you can also see the spectral class or the colour or the temperature of the star. So if we look at here, focus on the Southern Cross, this is the head of Yonga. So that's the tip of Yonga's nose. That forms the kangaroo's head here. That little wee star there is Yonga's eye. This star here is the tip of one ear. This other one over here is the tip of the other ear of the kangaroo. There's its neck down here, and then we follow this trail of stars here, here, all the way down to here. There's the tail of the kangaroo poking up, and its giant foot comes down here, and it follows all these stars to there. And these two stars here represent the front paws of the kangaroo. So once again, head, eyeball, one ear there, neck, backbone curling all the way down here to the tail, and then its giant foot curling all the way up to here, and the two front paws. And of course we can definitely see the emu there with the pronounced beak and the dark head, and the neck going through the paws of the kangaroo, and its back arching all the way down here and all the way back up its belly, up its neck, back up to the head. So like I said, if you can find the story of the carers of everything, you'll then know why the kangaroo is riding on the emu's back with its neck between its paws. So it's a pretty good story. So yes, anyway, let's just take another picture and see if the cloud situation has improved. I'm not holding my breath because it looks fairly solid. Here we go. Let's take another picture. See what happens. Never know. Well, actually I do know because I can't see a single thing. Not a sausage. Here we go. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? No, more cloud. All right. Anywho, what are you going to do? Par for the course. So what we might do, folks, is a couple of things. Where are we at? There we are. That's the one I want. There we go. So if you want to know more about our Jingin Dark Sky Star Party, just have a look on our Facebook page and also our website. That should be out in the next day or two. So keep an eye out for that. We'll certainly be putting posts on Facebook about it. We'll also include a running sheet of the different times and also the different guest speakers that we're going to get in. So it's pretty amazing. Some of the calibers of speakers that we're getting in so far are just like, wow, this is great. And if you are in the area and you do want to camp out for a couple of nights under the stars, well, this is the place to do it. And you're only an hour's drive north of Perth, and soon to be designated International Dark Sky Reserve. We hope. That's in the hands of the dark sky gods, also known as the International Dark Sky Association. So if you're listening, please go easy on us. Well, no, don't go easy on us. We want to earn it because, like I said, we've been working our butts off on this. But apart from that, if you're interested in learning more about dark skies and what we're doing up here, we'll also be putting our brochure online, the Guardians of the Dark. We'll be putting that online. We'll be putting that with our dark sky stuff, so that'll be soon to be released. Or you could pop in and pick up a hard copy of it because we've got a few of them at our front desk and also in the observatory. So the Guardians of the Dark pamphlet tells you all about what we've done, what is light pollution, and also go to the International Dark Sky Association website even become a member. Why not? The more the merrier. And learn about how you, in your own small way, can help reduce light pollution, and also how you can, well, think or act locally, think globally, and protect the night sky for future generations, because it is a very, very vital resource that we have, especially here in Western Australia, and it's something that we have to keep and protect, because once it's gone, that's it. It's gone, and it's very, very difficult to pull that, to tell people to turn their lights off once it is there. But like through education, through demonstration, basically the tools of science, we are confident that we can maintain what we have here and also improve what is happening down in Perth as well. So folks, I hope you enjoyed tonight's Live Sky broadcast, live and direct from the Gravity Discovery Centre Observatory. I'm sorry I didn't get to show you more of the southern sky wonders, but you know what? We're going to do this again. And I'm going to try and do it sooner, and this time without the stuffing around on, well, I'll still use Facebook because it's pretty good. But yeah, we'll keep going. Anyway, so folks, hope you have a great night. And as is customary, I'll also want to reiterate on my previous, hang on a sec. Wow, I've got a whole bunch of messages here. So hang on a sec. Where was it? Yes, I also want to reiterate, so if anyone from the Macquarie Observatory is listening in, especially Adam, again, congratulations on another successful orbit of our local star, lap number 40, I hear. So happy 40th, Adam. Adam, hope you had a good one. Have a few drinks from me. And I will catch you all soon. So until then, clear skies, hail Sagan, and we'll see you real soon. Thank you and good night. And enjoy the rest of International Dark Sky Week. Thanks. Now I'm going to stop it. Where's the stop button? Hang on a minute. Oh, there it is. Stop streaming. That'll help. Okay. Ciao.